Welcome back, everybody. Sive is here with the ForexPeaceArmy.com. Let's have a look on the euro currency. So lots of things to discuss today. Well, starting from the Fed, they actually said very important thing. Although everything was as expected, the rate has been held, but they have said very important thing for markets. Jerome Powell said, "We do not know what will happen with inflation and how Middle East showdown will make impact on the markets. We just do not know." So it increases the scale of uncertainty, of course, and potentially this is supportive for the safe haven assets, partially to the United States dollar, mostly to the Swiss franc. So it means that, of course, this is not the dominant factor, but it's in some gathering of other factors. It makes sense. Most important thing why we're actually getting this downward action, that escalation on the Middle East has turned to the new stage. If you tracking the news stream from the Middle East, you do know about this. If you do not tracking, no, don't worry, we in a few hours will put on the Telegram really concentrated update where you could read most important things that makes impact on the markets. In 2 words speaking, they start bombing the refinery objects on both sides. So Iran is bombing big refinery plants in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia that's producing the crude oil. In Qatar, this is the liquid gas. So Israel in turn start bombing a big refinery processing center in Iran. So this is a new stage that's bring the big really hazard to the stability of the hydrocarbons market globally. If you take a look at our recent report, you could see the chart there where euro follows step by step to the price, inverted price of the crude oil. And crude oil is moving higher. So you can see we talked about this in our Telegram that approximately in the crisis moments, crude oil keeps the pace approximately $2 per day. It follows with this trend currently, and we suggest that somewhere around beginning of the April, in the first decade of the April, we should get $150 per barrel. If it goes further, I wouldn't be surprised we'll get the $200. And now it seems that no final point of escalation you could see on the horizon. So what does it mean? It means that taking into consideration this fundamental background, we should expect on the euro further downward action here. On a longer term perspective, with the breaking of this support area and moving lower to the 112, 111 area that we talked about in the weekly report, all the stuffs remain in place. But this is not very important for today's session, today and tomorrow. Speaking about today's tomorrow, currently the situation is changing in a way where we have reasons to suggest that this will be not just minor pullback that we talked about recently, but market easily could retest these lows. At the same time, I'd not suggest that I think that hardly we will get straightforward breakout here, just because of the same oversold area on the weekly chart. So here's probably will be some kind of the wash and rinse or something like this. We will see. But first step is to see how market will touch the lows. Correspondingly, if any reversal will start here for pullback and forming the pattern that we talked about, we could treat it in a way of the double repo buy pattern. Those who are not familiar with the Jordan-Napoli terminology, you could treat it as intraday kind of the double bottom pattern. So here's, by the way, you can see we have yesterday bearish reversal bar, which is also suggests acceleration to the downside. What does it mean? It means that first, we're not hurry up with the taking long position. We're waiting for a clear pattern. If we will get at all this pattern, depending on what we'll have on the foreign arena. On the follow time chart, those who keep shorts, probably you could keep it further. Just don't forget to manage the position and step by step tidy your stop to some retracement points. So supposedly market at least should retest lows. That's what we think in the current situation. On a lower time frame, on an hourly chart, for today's session I see two different scenarios. First is a kind of the ABCD pattern, although you can see market is already trying to move lower, so I don't know whether we will get it or not. Theoretically, we could actually get just straightforward continuation, but if still some pullback will happen from this support, market now is at support in 1465, if we will get it, that might be nicely looking garbage steeple to sell. So if you would like to sell, you could just keep an eye on this possible scenario, because here, as you can see, bearish reversal swing compares to this one, and our initial ABCD that we were considering yesterday has been erased because market dropped below the C point, so this ABCD does not exist anymore, and we just keep going with the bearish context. So that's what we actually could get here. Another scenario that might be forming, this might be the downside butterfly. Instead of the moving to the 115, market here could show just minor pullback and start dropping again, forming the butterfly. But anyway, this will be in a kind of some kind of type of the triangle consolidation. So you could plan your trades if you would like to, if you trade intraday charts, based just on this minor consolidation. You do not need to place too far stops, for example, above this area or somewhere else. Just watch for this one. Initial stop you could place, for example, above the 115, but then if market start dropping lower, you could tie it closer. So that in towards what we have on the euro currency. Let's keep watching. The situation is becoming very interesting. It might be really trigger significant bearish pressure on the euro currency, and it seems that situation gradually go out of the control in the Middle East. So they're just turning to some really heavy strikes on really huge objects. So just imagine that the plant that makes liquid gas in Qatar it's the largest plant in a region or maybe in the world that produced, I don't remember exactly, but just if I not miss something, 25% of the global market of the liquid gas. So just imagine this scale. The same is about the refinery in Saudi Arabia. It's really, this is a behemoth's fight right now, so it's absolutely outstanding. So that's probably enough for me. Let's keep watching, following the plan, and as usual, prepare update tomorrow.